Welcome to another episode of the Not All Here podcast. Episode 36.
How's everybody doing out there?
Give it a pause.
Talk back to the car.
Talk back to the car, your headphones, and random, and people like, you talking to me? No.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, what's going on? You remember back in the day, this is really random because you just, when you were talking about talk back, and then I was talking about the headphones. You remember back in the day when like Bluetooth was first like becoming a thing? You know, they had like those mini big like Bluetooth headsets.
Oh, yeah.
And then like people had like that, those moments where they didn't know if the person was talking to them or talking to someone else.
That still happens every day, doesn't it?
I don't know if it happens
Anytime
every day.
I see someone talking and they're by themselves and their hand isn't up to their head, I think, what's going on?
That's hilarious.
You automatically think, they're just on the phone.
Yeah, I automatically, this is the thing. I automatically think nobody's ever talking to me. Like, have you ever had this thing where...
I have the opposite problem. I think everyone's talking to me. when they're never talking to me.
That's hilarious. No, I think what it is like, have you ever been around Atlanta? And of course, you know, sometimes Atlanta has like a homeless thing, right? Though you'll see homeless people, or you'll see people who, no, I'm gonna say homeless because it's mostly them sometimes where they, you know, they want to ask for help. They want to be like, hey, do you have any money? And they always do this. They always go, excuse me. Now, I've gotten to the point, and I've kind of always been like this, where I just ignore that because I'm like, well, I'm not, excuse me, that's not my name. Like, you know, or they'll, you know, sometimes they'll be, excuse me, sir, you know, and I'll be like, I don't think they talk to me or something like that. And so they never say that, or like, I just don't respond to anybody who, unless they directly come up to me and be like, hey, excuse me, you know, or something like that. And so I'm always avoiding people.
So you'll accept, excuse me, you. But excuse me, sir.
Excuse me, sir will work too, for some reason. But if not, it's happened to me a few times where not even just homeless people, but regular people. I remember one time I was walking on the Beltline with my girl, right? And we were doing a photo shoot, and I had this old film camera, and we were shooting. And some other people were also doing a shoot, right? And I was talking to my girl directly, and I was looking at her, just, you know, we were having a conversation. And on my left ear, I hear them say like, hey, let's trade cameras, da-da-da. And I'm like, he not talking to me. Like, why would he talk to me? And then my girl looked, and, you know, she looked at me, but I was just like, they're not talking to me or whatever. And we kept walking. And then it was like, I think 10 steps later, I was like, oh, did I just ignore them? Like, was that bro.
You be hating, man.
No.
Well, this wasn't even this was a homeless person?
No, this was actually regular, like a photographer, like another photographer.
Dang, bro.
But I didn't think they were talking to me, you know?
Straight up.
They didn't go, hey, dude with the long hair, like that. You know, versus just like other people.
So you don't think anyone's talking to you? Yeah,
I think for the most part, because I was like, well, I ain't talking to y'all. Like, why are you talking to me? So I have you ever had moments like that, or do you? So you said that you actually have the opposite.
I think everyone's talking to me.
Really?
You ever have someone, you don't know, you go like this, and you're not sure what's happening, and you just wave back, and they were really waving at the person someone behind you. Yeah. That's happened to me too many times,
bro. That's happened to me so many times.
I feel like an idiot. I'm just like,
I feel so embarrassed, and they're like, hey, no. Behind you. I've had that. Have you had that?
No, I've never had them corrected.
I waved and they're like, not you.
I've never been corrected.
I've been corrected once, and I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, puts a little hurt in your heart.
That's hilarious. But no, yeah, I don't think anybody's ever talking to me. But then that's also because I think most of the time, unless it's somebody I know, I always try to avoid talking to people because I'm like, I don't know you.
It's like I don't ignore the homeless people. I just give them the nod, and then, you know.
I remember this one time, it was so funny.
I feel like it's fucked up for me to just look at them and just straight up ignore them. I just hit them with the...
You just, all right, and keep it moving.
Nah, I don't got no cash.
My thing that's bad, and I've actually had like a few people, homeless people, get mad at me for this, where like one thing, I don't know if I said it before on the podcast, but I might have, but forgive me if I did, y'all. So I've had people come up. Sometimes people like to give you a story. Oh yeah,
you had this. Yeah, yep,
I remember this one time me and my girl, we were going to a liquor store, right, to get some liquor, to just chill, whatever, vibe out, whatever. And in front of the liquor store, the door, there was this homeless dude. But I could tell that like he was like drunk or something like that. Somebody might have helped him out, got him a beer or two or something, and he was just out there chilling. And as we were approaching the store, people were walking by him, and he was like, excuse me, but nobody was doing anything.
Right.
And I remember he actually came up to me, he was like, excuse me. And I was like, what's up? And he went into like a story, and I'm just like, hey, you don't have to give me a story. What do you want? What do you want? Not that I'm gonna get it, but what do you want?
Right.
He's like, could you buy me a beer? And I said, no. And I felt bad to say no.
It's a hard world out there, man.
And then I remember my girl said, why did you respond to him? And I was like, I mean, he was asking me.
Yeah.
You know? But it's interesting. But anyway.
It's a hard world out there.
Episode 36 of the...
Dang, bro. We just jump right in, straight into homeless people.
Nah, I mean, it is what it is. I kind of... It's funny. So this actually might spawn like a little thing that I was actually thinking about this week. That I think that my belief in how the world works is that there's always going to be homeless people. I think, at least I believe so, in some form or fashion. Now, maybe in the future there's still going to be homeless people, but they're not as horrible off as some of them are now. You know, maybe there'll be more shelters or just whatever. But I have a feeling that there's always going to be issues and problems. They just move in different ways depending on how society is or what we focus on as far as what's important.
I think it depends on where you live.
That too.
Because there are actually countries that don't have homeless problems.
Oh, really? Like where?
I don't remember. So I can't say. I don't know if it's Norway or Sweden or Denmark or.
Oh, it might be one of those like countries
where actually, if you're homeless, they're actually given a place to stay, and there's like a program to try to get you back on your feet, get you a job, get you moving again, to where I'm not going to say the problem is specifically American, because I'm sure there's other places.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of other places, I think.
But
I could see that.
Yeah.
I think
it's also a mental health thing.
That too.
A lot of these people, to no fault of their own. If you're not all there, it's that's the name of our podcast.
No pun intended.
But,
no pun intended. Sorry.
It's going to be hard to keep a job.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of mental problems and then you keep running into that, well, you're going to run out of money. And if you don't have a support system, don't have a family that cares a whole lot about you and tries to take care of you, then
you're just out of luck.
You could end up out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember one day, I don't know what it was about this guy, but this one homeless guy, I saw him and I kind of felt like a fucked up person because I saw this guy and I felt really bad because I thought he kind of looked like me.
Whoa. You were like, this is a possibility.
I remember where I saw him. It was in Marietta.
Okay.
And I saw him, but then afterwards I was thinking about it and I'm like, man, it's kind of fucked up because all the other homeless people I see, I don't feel bad. But this guy, I just kind of like, damn, I wish I had some money.
Yeah.
And, I've given homeless people money, on occasion. But that guy was just like, damn,
Yeah, you feel bad. I saw something that I don't know if I said this either. I'm forgetting, but I saw for the first time there was actually a homeless dude who, most of the time they have signs that'll say, need help or, need food or anything helps, type of thing. This dude was saying, hey, need help. He said he was a veteran, but he said, anything helps on his cardboard box, little side or whatever where he wrote, but it also had a Cash App on there. And that was the first time I've ever seen a homeless person with a Cash App. And I was like, oh, but then that kind of makes sense. I feel like in the future, homeless people, because I think, let me ask you this. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, because I know, do you carry money on you or is it more so just digital?
I never have cash.
Exactly. And I'm the same way. And I kind of feel like we're always going to have money for a long time, at least, I think. But I think people now are like, well, no, I'll just pay with my phone, the little tap or the card or whatever, debit or credit or something. And so I was like, oh, I wonder how homeless people are going to adapt to that. And I think it's like Cash App and all, Venmo. They're going to be like, my Venmo,
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then I remember that threw me off. I was like, damn, this dude got a Cash App. How you got that? And it makes sense. But he could have like a real cheap, like I was about to say chirp phone, that you just kind of pay with a card or something like that, prepaid phone. And so I was like, oh, he maybe got one of those, because it's free to get Cash App, But then now I'm thinking about, hold on, you can have you can have a Cash App card and all that.
All right, so I got a question for you.
Okay.
Related to money, right?
Uh-huh.
I came up with this idea.
Uh-oh. All right.
Okay, the amount of money you're making right now, right?
Oh boy.
Just put that in a box. You don't have to say it, obviously.
Okay.
But it's just in your head, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say Monday, someone comes to you, right? It's a genie, right? Made up scenario.
Okay.
Says, would you take a 50% pay decrease, right? Mm-hmm. For the rest of your life for a 50% increase in happiness?
Oh, that's a good question. Thinking of the money that I make now, would I take half of that to be just happier?
Cut in half, 50%, but you get 50% more happiness.
That's a good question. I don't know if I could do that because of I feel like I would still want to do certain things that require money. Now, but then then the other side to that is like, well, you're going to be happier.
You're going to be happier.
So
whatever you felt like you needed, it's being fulfilled in other ways.
I kind of feel like, man, that's a tough question. A part of me said, yeah, I'd take that because money to me isn't important. I don't I know we need it to pay bills and however society is, but a part of me is like, I enjoy making money.
Right.
Like it's fun to make money. I don't know. I might do it.
Okay.
I might do it.
So you did it?
Yeah.
All right. So then the next Monday, another Monday passes. And Genie shows up again. And the Genie's like, what's up, man? I got another offer for you.
Okay.
We're going to cut your money in half again. But now you're getting 50% more happiness.
No, then I'm like, you scamming me, Genie. You scamming me because...
But your happiness is just multiplying.
True, but then it's always going to be like, well, how much happier can I get? It kind of feels like a pyramid scheme. Like
50%.
It feels like a pyramid scheme because I'm pretty happy right now. But you mean 50% happier? No, I wouldn't take that.
You stop at
one. I stopped at one because then my brain starts to go, this motherfucker's scamming me.
Nah, he's giving you happiness.
But I feel like then the question becomes, all right, if I take this, is he going to come back to me next week and be like, now?
See, that's where. How far could you go?
I'm gonna go 1. That's it.
Could you keep going and literally until you had $0 but 100% happiness? Like your life was just as great as it could be, but you had no money.
I kind of feel like then at that point you probably have mental health issues.
I don't know, man.
It kind of makes me think of those people who are like really insane and are like just like off like the wagon and everything. And so I'm like, cause now when you put it like that, I'm like, after the first one, I'd be like, I've been scammed and I never want anything to do with them. So
you'd just be like a traveling nomad, just traveling the earth. Eating mangoes from trees. And sleeping in random places.
But no, I don't think I could do it.
No.
After the first one, how far would you go?
I don't know. See, I came up with this idea and I was like, okay, I'll take the first one. Then it's like, dang, I might take the second one. But that third one though, woo, you're getting pretty low. You might be getting, the further you go, that's like homeless levels.
Yeah, no, that's my whole thing is like, I don't want to be happy and homeless. I'd rather be somewhat happy and have a place to cover over my head. Happy
and homeless or miserable and comfortable?
Miserable and comfortable. Always. Always.
I don't want to be miserable.
But I think you can get out of miserableness. That's what you got therapy for. That's what you got.
You can get out of homelessness. It's going to take a lot of work.
True, but I'd rather be comfortable already and then, deal with that.
Yeah.
Well, would you rather be crying under a bridge or crying in a Lamborghini?
Well, wait, you got to make the bridge. The bridge sounds terrible.
That's what I'm comparing it to. That's what I'm saying. Happy and homeless, like, you're like, would you be happy?
Well, no, you said crying.
Oh, sorry.
So you need to mean happy, smiling under a bridge.
Would you rather be smiling in a bridge or crying in a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
Which one would you want?
I don't want to cry, man. Let me go under the bridge.
Go under the bridge. That sounds like a very jetty answer. I'll see you. I'll cry. I'll just, I'll call my therapist or something and, I'll work it out. It'll be okay. That's hilarious. But yeah, okay. What was I going to say?
How do you think Lamborghinis go over speed bumps?
Bro, I never want a Lamborghini or any type of car like that because of speed bumps. and how low to the ground they are?
I watched a video on this.
Oh, like there's actually a way to go across the speed bump?
They can like change their suspension a little bit.
Oh.
There's like a button or something you can push, but also you need to come at this. It's weird. You don't drive at the speed bump straight. You come at it at an angle. And for some reason, it's better. The car just goes like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. It's just that I don't like that idea because it's too close. Why would you want to be? Maybe, you know what? As I'm saying this, I think I realize maybe they're low to the ground because of like how maybe hard they can turn corners and stuff like that. It probably helps, right?
I have no idea. It's something to do with like wind resistance and air.
Oh, so it's like aerodynamic and stuff. Oh, that makes sense. But I still don't want one.
Well, you don't want a Lamborghini?
No.
So you take the bridge too?
No, I want a Tesla. I'll sleep in a Tesla before I sleep under a bridge.
Did you know? I just learned this.
What's that?
When you buy a Tesla, you're not actually allowed to work on it or repair it, and auto body shops aren't really allowed to work on it or repair it.
You got to take it to Tesla.
Only the Tesla people are allowed to work on it. And it's kind of this new thing where some people feel like that, oh, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a monopoly, but they have a lot of different reasons why. And they say, mechanics aren't qualified to work on these giant batteries and, you know, things of that nature. And also Tesla is a company such where let's say you repair the car and the car blows up, that becomes a major news story when really you shouldn't have been the one maybe repairing it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Apple. You know how Apple are like, hey, how they seal their computers like now, like
how they seal it.
Yeah. So like it used to be, I have an old, I actually have a Mac Mini here where we record the podcast that I use, and you can open it and mess with it and do all those things. They stopped doing that to like laptops, computers, and everything.
Really?
And so the reason why they did that was because they didn't want people to work on them. They'd be like, no, you have to come to us if you want it. Like add some stuff, change any things, upgrade your storage and stuff like that.
And there's actually a law against this.
Yep.
So is that the same thing with Apple?
Basically, it's kind of similar where, like, I forget what it is, like the right to repair or something like that.
So you're hip to this.
Yep, because my MacBook Pro laptop, like it's old, but I was always upgraded and I loved working on it because it was simple enough to where I could understand it. And then I think the site that I would visit would be like, hey, there's a law and we're trying to get them to not pass it that prevents you from being able to work on the stuff that you buy.
Right.
Versus having to, take it to the store or whatever. And so it's like a whole big thing. I'm all for people being able to, like, I think the whole thing, when you buy something, do you really own it type of thing, you know? And so it's like a whole big thing. I'm all for that.
There's some kind of weird law that Tesla gets around this because you actually aren't buying a Tesla from a dealership. There's no dealerships. Oh, so that's how they actually get around this law.
Wow. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody was certified, I would let, people work on a Tesla, but it's kind of like give and take. I see why they say it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, why can't someone just go get trained or something? And then
like if you're a car guy and something fucks up, you know how to fix it. You're not allowed to fix it.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
That is.
You literally can't order the parts.
That's wild.
I watched this video of this guy who he's like one of the only guys doing this, and he buys fucked up Teslas, right? Ones that maybe the front exploded but the back is still good, and he repairs them and takes parts from one and puts them together to try to create like a new car. And Tesla hates him because they don't want him doing it.
That's crazy.
You're not supposed to do it.
I think I saw a video there was this woman who she actually wanted to take a Tesla and make it like off-roadish, and Tesla got upset at her for doing that. They're like, we don't want you to do stuff to our car. And like I think something happened to the video when she first put it out or something like that, to where they sent like a cease and desist or something like that. And then I think after a while they kind of cooled off, and she was like, I just, I love the car, but I just I own the car, I want to be able to do whatever I want with it. And like they had like this whole thing that was like crazy with it. I'm not for that. I'm for let people what they want to, but at the same time, like you were talking about, if something bad happened, that looks bad on them. Yeah. And but I don't know, man. It's real crazy. All right, and we're back.
We're back.
You had something?
I got a podcast idea.
Podcast idea. Oh, hey, what's going on?
This idea is terrible.
It's the all here pod. No.
But it's so terrible it might be good.
Okay.
Let me know what you think.
All right.
We probably won't do this.
Okay.
But I think it'd be dope if somebody did it.
Somebody out in the world, if you're listening.
Here's a podcast for you.
There you go.
It's called the 24-Hour Podcast.
Oh boy.
So what you do, right? Uh-huh. You know, you and another person, or invite as many people as you want. However you do it. Mm-hmm. You literally record for 24 hours straight.
Okay.
Right? But then you chop it up into 1 hour segments. And then you name, if we did it today, it'd be July 17th, 3 o'clock. And that'd be the first episode. And then next week, it'd be July 17th, 4 o'clock. And then you'd literally have 24 episodes.
Oh, already ready to go.
Just boom, in one day.
I mean,
it's a marathon.
I mean, it sounds interesting. I see the tech on it.
I mean, you would run out of stuff to talk about. Definitely. Oh, yeah. But would it be interesting?
Depends. What I think what would be dope is that this is what you do. 24-hour podcast. I think that's a good start. That's a good start. But this is what you do. Every hour is a different guest. But you're the one that's like in there 24 hours. So you're trying to stay up and like interact with people or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it'd be dope if you had like the pool like this, but you could bring in like random doctors or like random psychologists or just something, interesting topics. But like every single hours, like as soon as that first hour's up, you're like, all right, hey, look, you got to get out wherever you were talking. I'm sorry, that's where we stop. And then boom, move into the next one.
That kind of something similar to that gave me this idea. The Dan Le Batard show did like a marathon. I don't know if they did 24 hours, but yeah, it was like all day long.
Wow.
And they just kept bringing in guests.
Well, somebody they came up with it.
They did it, but who would you listen to? Who would be the perfect like two people?
Perfect two people?
Like say there's no guests.
Okay, no guest. Perfect two people. I almost kind of want to hear two people from two different I guess career fields or something like that. Or because I don't know, you also want them to kind of be able to talk to each other where they're not too like, I don't understand what your career is,
right?
But I listen to a lot of comedians, so I'd want a comedian and let's see, maybe somebody in the government.
I don't want that. You want a government person?
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I almost kind of would want like two legendary comedians talking and just talk about stories of like coming up.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That did be dope. But like these other comedians, how they were, how things were different, and all this stuff. Because I love hearing about. I love the comedy world, and so I love hearing about how things were and how things are changing and shit, and just how. There's a lot of ridiculous stories that I've heard of like how certain things were done. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like times change.
Quick mention of that, the comedy world. I went down this rabbit hole last night of the Carlos Mencia situation.
Yeah, with Joe Rogan and all that.
Oh my God. I watched like maybe an hour or two of these videos just talking about the situation. It was so crazy.
I remember hearing like certain moments because like sometimes do you remember when that first happened? Like I remember like being in like what was it, like high school or college or something? I think it was high school, and I remember hearing about it, and I remember watching the video that they had shot where Joe they went up on stage and called them out. And then because I remember when Carlos Mencia first came out, I was like, oh wow, this dude's actually really funny. And like he was playing on the whole like Mexican thing of like stereotypes or whatever, and I was like, this is hilarious. And then you come to find out he's not even Mexican.
Did you feel betrayed by that?
I felt really like, what the fuck, this dude just picking like races or whatever to play. He was like, he's Peruvian, I think he's half Peruvian, half German or something like that.
No, half German.
Okay.
It's not Peru.
Half
Hungary? Hungary.
Hungarian?
Yeah.
No, really?
Hang on.
I know he's got one Latin thing in him. It's either Peru or like Salvadorian or something like that. I can't remember. But he's not Mexican.
His name is Ned.
Yeah. His real name is Ned. Ned's declassified. No, but he, and then also you, let's see, you about to find out.
American and Honduran.
Honduran. That's what it is. And so, but yeah, he was sort of like playing that role, and then you come to find out he was stealing people's material and like how much of a bully he was.
Yeah.
When he had like all that power and all that pull, and that shit was crazy because I remember it's different when like you only see like, you know, the YouTube videos or like just what you see maybe in like articles, but then to hear it from like, I remember I've heard seen a couple episodes where like Joe talks about it or like other people who were there when it was happening, and just like how crazy it was. And I think even to this day he doesn't like admit to like, you know.
Did you see him on Bobby Lee's podcast?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's like, what got me started down the rabbit hole.
I was like, man, he wouldn't admit it. Yeah, he wouldn't admit that he was wrong.
He fights that thing to the death.
To the day, he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. You know, he was like, I don't know who to apologize to. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man.
I was like, bro, just admit you're wrong, bro.
Did you know that Robin Williams was also hated for this?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's kind of wild.
He took a lot of people's jokes as well, even though as beloved as he was, when he did stand up, he took a lot of people's. I'm trying to think. There's like a few people.
Dennis Leary. I actually didn't know he was a comedian.
I didn't either for the longest
time. I just learned that.
It's the same thing. I don't know if he stole jokes. You know that Bill Maher dude.
They say he steals jokes?
No. I was saying that, you know, he actually did stand up.
Oh yeah. I knew that.
I didn't know that. I only knew him as like the guy who talks about like politics.
Yeah,
that's all I knew him
like
as.
Political kind of stand up.
Yeah, but there is like a few people like that who stole jokes, and you kind of are like, what the hell? Like it's.
You know what 24-hour podcast I want?
What?
Carlos Mencia and Joe Rogan.
Oh my God, it wouldn't make it past 30 minutes.
That's what I want.
Man, it's crazy. Oh, that's what I meant to say. I meant to say Dan Cook was also accused of stealing jokes, and so and I love Dan Cook. I thought that dude was hilarious.
Have you looked back on his stuff recently?
I haven't. It's been a while.
It doesn't age well.
Oh, it doesn't?
No. There's like no punchlines, and it's just like I watched it recently. I'm like, yo, why did I think this was funny?
I don't know why. I think
it's terrible.
I think it was how silly he was and certain things that he did. Because that dude, I think he was one of the first comedians maybe to be like super big, like as he was. Because, you know, he kind of blew up off of MySpace.
Doing like arenas and like stadiums.
Yeah, him, or no, I'm sorry. He wasn't the first like super big.
Maybe not stadium.
Yeah. But he was doing like super like big things, Madison Square Garden and all that. But I was a big fan of his. I mean, you had big legends even before him, like, you know, Richard Pryor and all these other people. But it's like the comedy world is crazy because of like how, especially shit in LA was. You know, people always, I'm sure you've heard the store mentioned a lot. They talk about the store and how things, you had to get like this seal of approval.
Well, supposedly Rogan was banned from the store for calling out Mencia.
Yep. Yeah. He got banned, I think, was it 3 years? And then he finally came back or something like that. But it was super wild, man. I'd love a podcast like that. And like, that'd be interesting, Carlos Mencia and Joe Rogan, but I don't think that would ever happen. Would you
listen to Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg?
That might be kind of interesting. Maybe for like a little bit. After a while, I'd be like,
1 hour would be enough.
1 hour would be enough. I don't think 24 hours is required.
I want a podcast with Just Blaze and anyone. Maybe Just Blaze and like Jay-Z.
Oh, that'd be dope.
That'd be fire.
Just Blaze, yeah. I'm trying to think of who else in the producer world. I really also love like hip hop stories, like of not just the music, but shit that happened like back in the day, like Tupac and Biggie type of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember hearing this crazy story when that big war was going on with the East versus the West, and what was it? I think it was like the MTV Awards or something like that, and Pac and Snoop, they had gone in, it was in New York. It was being held. And this is like when I
think it was the BET Awards.
Was it the BET Awards?
You're talking about the whole I'm the king of was it New York or I'm the king? What did they say?
Well, I think I don't know if it was the King New York, but I think what it was is Nas met with Snoop, and like, you know, Nas was like, yo, I love you, Pac, or whatever. And then like Nas had supposedly, this might be exaggerated, but it sounds crazy when they talk about it. Supposedly Nas had like 100 dudes with him. Supposedly, that's a lot of motherfuckers to be.
I don't have 100 friends.
Me neither. But he had like 100 dudes with him who were like from the streets or whatever. And then I think him and Nas, Tupac and Nas were having a conversation, and Snoop was with him, and he was like, "Man, you know what's up, Tupac?" And Nas was like, Tupac was cursing out Nas and be like, "Man, I got a diss song. I'm dissing you, all these people in New York. If you love me, man, you're not gonna say shit." And he's like, "Nah, I ain't got no problems. You can say what you want." And then like he let him go through, and he winked to the people around him or whatever. And Snoop was like, he's like, Nas could have really had us fucked up because he had 100 people. But like stories like that, or like how certain records happen and shit, I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
Same thing with this will probably be the last story I bring up about hip hop. I love the whole what is it? The Jay-Z song with UGK, Pimp C and Bum B. How Pimp C didn't want to be on the song.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I hate this. And then Bum was like, nah, man, let's do it. He's like, man, you're getting 8 bars from me. That's it. And then when they shot the video, he didn't even go with them. They had to shoot it in Texas. Like, it's crazy, like how just like Wild West shit used to be. Man, you probably, like back in the day, you get run up on and beat up or shot or whatever just for saying the wrong thing or, you know, representing a certain coast or whatever. But
speaking of rap, it's gonna be the next verses. You see that? It's the only verses that's kind of caught my attention.
Dipset versus...
I'm not really into verses, but this one, you know.
It's Dipset versus The Lox, right?
And they're doing it at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's crazy.
So maybe they're just performing all the songs.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. I kind of love Dipset a little bit more, even though Lox is legendary. But they had, classics. Right. You know? And Dipset was like beloved everywhere, you know? Not to say Lox wasn't, but Dipset, man, the South loved Dipset. Yeah. I'm trying to think of all the verses. Who would you want to see? Who's like your dream verses? Like whether it be producers or just rappers that they haven't done.
I don't know, man. I'm not really into the verses, man. I guess I'd like a producer one. Do like Pharrell versus like the Neptunes versus like
Timbaland or something.
Kanye West.
Oh, Kanye. Oh, that'd be interesting.
But make it production.
Yeah, exactly. You know? No songs, just like beats.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. I think I'd want... I'm trying to think of like my favorite producers. I'd probably go abstract with it. I'd be like Mad Villain, Madlib versus... I don't know. Even though, he passed away. Jay Dilla or something, you know. Like those, like producer gods from back in the day and shit. I think that'd be interesting. Just make it random beats or like unplayed beats or something that never made it, but that are still dope.
I enjoyed the Hit Boy versus Boy Wonder. Did you see that one? That's one of the only ones I saw. And it was dope because they were playing unreleased stuff.
Oh, word?
Yeah, wow. Plus beats. Like just unreleased beats. Unreleased beats. Damn. And records.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That makes me think of, remember, I don't think they've done anything recently, like beat battles and stuff like that. It's so funny because I remember, have you ever done a beat battle?
Oh, yeah, many.
Many? Okay.
We came in second every time.
Every time?
Every time I've done a beat battle, I've come in second.
Wow. Damn.
Every time.
Now, you don't have to say who or whatever. The times that you've come in second, were there times where you were like, I'm better than them? Like as far as like, you know, or were you like, no, they were really dope? Were there times you felt robbed?
Not really.
Okay.
I just disappointed I didn't pick the right beats at the right time. But looking back at the fact, there was one time we were robbed by a guy that's fraudulent.
Oh, he stole beats.
He was stealing beats. And we found out because another producer told me after the fact. And he was like, hey, yo, pull out Shazam.
And then Shazam the beat.
He's like, hey, yo, Shazam his beats next time you're around him.
Wow.
So we were in this little studio session. And I don't remember exactly why we were there. But one of the guys from iStandard had like invited some people out to the studio. And we were all playing beats. And he played like 4 beats. And I Shazammed them and 3 of them came up.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
On to you. You know who you are.
I'll say you know who you are.
I doubt you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
But if you are, you took our first place. We deserve that.
That's crazy. That made me think of
Have you done beat battles?
No, I'm not into that. It's like, I think what it is like beat battles. The ones that I've seen, let me say it like that. The ones that I've seen, never like the production is always aggressive. Like it's always aggressive. Like I'm thinking, wait, did you make this beat for specifically for a beat battle?
There are beat battle beats.
Like, and I'm more so. I always thought that beat battle should be just like random production.
Well, there's also like a showcase. I kind of count those the same thing as a beat battle. So in a showcase, they have like a structure. Like, okay, round 1, this is your R&B hit. Round 2, this is like something pop.
Gotcha.
Round 3, this is like your hard hip hop shit. So that one's more well rounded.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And I came in second in those two.
Because I think like most of the beat battles I've seen have always reminded me of like Arab music type beats, where they're like aggressive and it's like an orchestra, horns playing or whatever. And I'm like, who wants to listen to that?
I mean, I love it.
It's dope.
It gives you the scrunch face, like ooh.
I think it reminds me of because like it's just like I think I'm always thinking, I'm like, can an artist, sing or rap over this? And sometimes some of the beats from the beat battle, I'll be like, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to rap over this.
Right. Yeah.
It's a little too aggressive.
Yep.
But no, I've never been a part of any of them just because I was like,
bro, you missed out a great time in Atlanta. I feel like they don't even do them anymore.
I don't think they do.
They were popping for a while.
They were. I think
we used to go to them every month.
I pulled up to one of y'all's before. I think.
Okay.
When I first moved here.
At the basement.
It was at the basement, or it was it was near SAE. There was one that I think y'all were at. I can't remember. Either you were judging or something, but it was like at a little bar / It
wasn't at SAE?
I don't think so. Because I remember driving by there and like going in.
There was one in like Edgewood or something.
Okay.
On the street in Edgewood.
But I know I pulled up at one of them. Oh. And so, but I like the idea of like, hey, this is the R&B round, or this is
showcase.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta sign up for the showcase. ECL.
I don't know, man. I don't like competing like that. I just like making my music.
Yeah, I feel it. I'm not really into that anymore.
Exactly. But that reminded me of, I remember there's videos, I love coming across like videos that you kind of don't realize are on YouTube. But there was Bink, Bink the producer, he was at a beat battle. Or it might have been a showcase, but he was playing like Just This Hard beat, and people were like, he was playing the Devil in a Dress beat, like I think a year or two before like Kanye made a song to it.
That's dope.
But he lost because of that, like to whoever or whatever, and then a year later that beat got placed on
I'll never forget me and the Coalition, my guys, Silence and Jew Fresh, we were in LA at a beat battle, and we were just killing it. We were like murdering everyone to the point where the crowd like loved us.
Oh, word.
And they were like, battle the judges.
Oh, no.
And the judges were like, all right, bring it. But then it's like we got to the final round, and then everybody was like, one more beat. And then the guy beat us on the last beat.
Damn, man.
And it's like we were the crowd. That is the one time we should have won.
Yeah.
I was kind of mad. Everybody, the whole room was disappointed. It's like, yo, the guy won first place, right? He won, and then afterwards everybody comes together and talks, and he just kind of dipped.
Damn.
He just left after he won first place at this thing. And then we were like mingling and talking to everybody, and everybody just came over to us.
Wow. Yeah. Y'all were like the Patriots in that one season. Y'all went undefeated and regular and lost in the Super Bowl.
Dude, that is the perfect analogy. That is it.
That's hilarious.
We were the Patriots that year.
People were like, of course they're going to win the Super Bowl, and they lost to the Giants.
He was Eli Manning that just threw that perfect weird pass. The guy caught it on his helmet. God.
Damn, man.
Damn.
I felt unstoppable. That's crazy.
Speaking of football, do we want to talk about Richard Sherman or not?
Yeah, let's talk about it. But let me stop it, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
We'll be right back. That was a weird, like, snap clap.
I used to do something like that. Anyway, Richard Sherman, man, did you see the situation?
No, I don't know what I saw like trending on Twitter, but I didn't go look.
All right.
But I wanted to know, so this is like fresh.
So we don't need to make any jokes about this. This is pretty sad.
Oh, okay.
So there's a clip of him that went viral.
Okay.
And he's basically trying to knock down the front door. And he's a football player. And he's literally ramming this door, trying to knock down this door.
Okay.
And the videos of like the security cam outside or whatever, one of those doorbell cams. And basically, it was at his wife, his father-in-law's house. So his wife's father. That's how that works. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's how that works. But yeah, man. And he got arrested, and then he apologized. But the situation. He has some mental health issues, and there may be some, correct me if anybody out there knows the situation better than I did, because I did a little bit of reading, not a whole lot of reading. There may have been some drug issues mixed in with medication.
Whoa.
And he kind of lost his mind that night. He was threatening to commit suicide. He wanted to hang himself.
Whoa.
And then he drove over to the parents' house and then went crazy, trying to knock down the door, got it all caught on camera. His wife called the cops, and she was begging the cops not to kill him.
Yeah.
Because she was scared that they were going to show up.
Yeah.
He's crazy. And he didn't have a weapon on him, and she was just telling him, he doesn't have a weapon. Please don't kill him. And so just a bad situation for him.
Okay.
And he's still in the NFL, I believe.
Okay.
And don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but kind of feel bad for him.
Damn, that's crazy.
I'm scared for the family.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he definitely needs to get some help.
Yeah.
Going into rehab or whatever. Because when you get to that thing where you're combining medication and like drugs, that shit, like, bro, that shit could take you over.
I may not be right on that point. I'm not sure. There's something going on there. I don't know if the full story's come out, or if that's suspected and not confirmed yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So then did he just get locked up and then? Okay.
I think he's out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I would say, man, he just needs to get like psychological help, and like that's like the thing. And then what is it? The good thing out of this bad situation is that he's able to afford that, and like hopefully he like goes and seeks that.
Well, one thing is too, people are saying this could be CTE.
Ooh, okay.
And a lot of these guys, when they get hit so much, your brain, you can become a really violent person.
Yeah.
So hope he doesn't go down that path. But this is going to be something that the NFL is going to want to hide.
Yeah.
Because this isn't something they've really had while a player is still in the league. I mean, maybe they have.
Yeah.
And it's just been lesser known players and not really a star like Richard Sherman.
I mean, I would think probably the most famous case that dealt with this CTE in a way was the Hernandez case. You remember that? Because, he killed somebody, but then people were saying that when he was in jail before, like, he killed himself, he wrote a letter. He was like, something's wrong with me.
With his brain.
Yeah.
Another one not NFL related, but is Chris Benoit. He murdered his whole family.
Yeah, so, and then he hung himself. That's that was another thing. And that he was a wrestler. So it's like, after... The brain, man, you have to be careful with that thing. Like, cause like, sure, you got a strong ass head and like a skull is like super strong, but like your brain's not meant to be taken, especially in the NFL, like as many hits as they take and how hard they hit each other. Man, it's dangerous. And like, what was it? I think a long time ago, people were saying like the NFL like is short for not for long. That's like an acronym. People like, look, because I think at the time I'm repurposing it. They were talking about running backs. They're like, most of the time, man, running backs, your career span isn't that long because you're always running, you're getting hit, and it's a lot that your body's taking on, and so that sucks, especially if it is with CTE, because like, man, it's like I'm pretty sure like the NFL has done certain things to try to make things like more protective or whatever, but even then, I think even with like how whatever they do with like helmets, like their protection, like shoulder pads and all these things, your brain's not supposed to be hit so hard to where it just moves around, repeatedly, especially yeah. I kind of feel like this is like something that, well, one, they need to just keep developing like ways to protect people, or like, come up with rules, ensure, because there's going to be people who complain about this and be like, well, it's always been like this, or like people who aren't excited, like, well, I want to see people get hit, and I'm like,
the game is softer now, because roughing the passer isn't like it used to be.
Of course. But back in the day, motherfucker used to get hit.
Yes.
Like, and they wouldn't come back normal. People, that's why people get concussions. And bro, the amount of times you've seen somebody like how hard they've gotten hit is like crazy. But, and some people might argue, well, that's the whoever decides to go to the NFL, they know that's the risk coming into that thing.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like it could still be safer, and sometimes the game has to evolve to accommodate, or I don't know, man. Like, I feel bad for him just because, like I said, if that is CTE, then that sucks because like that shit is like damaging, and you know he might not ever be the same. You know,
right?
That's why I didn't know that. That's like crazy. Because what team was he playing on? Do you know?
Well, he was biggest when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. I'm actually not sure what team he's on now.
I think he was playing for the Cardinals. Is it
the Cardinals? Okay.
I think so. Mm-hmm. And you said it was Richard Sherman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it the Cardinal or I'm tripping? I don't know.
You might be right.
I'm either thinking of Sherman or I can't remember who he used to play with in Seattle. But
it's Seattle Seahawks.
No, that's what I was saying. Like
you said after Seattle?
No. If I was thinking about the linebacker. Did it say Earl? I thought you were looking that up.
Oh, he plays for the 49ers.
49ers. That's what it is. My bad. He played for the 49ers. So, yeah, man, hopefully, like, he's able to get help and medical attention like he is. And if this causes him to, like, have to retire, I mean, after a while, you're kind of like, you know, do you want to be able to, like, function and walk or, you know, still have whatever functions that you have now, or do you want to take the risk of making more money but then possibly getting more injured and doing more damage?
Take 50% less money.
There you go.
50% more happiness.
Exactly. You know,
don't be like E.
Oh my God.
He wants a Lamborghini.
No, I don't want to.
He wants to cry in his Lamborghini.
No. What was I gonna say? That reminds me of Barry Sanders, right?
Yeah.
You know, he left in his prime.
He retired after 9 seasons.
Yep.
It's funny. Calvin Johnson did the exact same thing.
I think
something about the Detroit Lions just makes players quit.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, the reason why he left, because a lot of people were upset that he left, because he was like, man, you still can do what you do. He was like, if I remember right, he was like saying, well, here's the thing, nobody's getting me help, so I don't want to do everything myself. And then he was just like, I still want to be able to, you know, hang around with my kids and be fine. Mm-hmm. You know, he's like, because he had some kids and
smart man.
Yeah, man. Like that is right. You know, he's like, I've made enough money to chill. You know,
take 50% happiness, bro.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Where we at on time?
We're probably about right there. If you want to,
not on here moment.
Yeah, we can go into that if you want to. Hold on, we might have to come back because I gotta think of one.
I gotta think too.
Okay, hold on. We'll be right back. Yeah. Which will be 1 second in your time. All right, we're at that moment in the podcast, ladies and gents and animals. What up, Hawk?
It's that time.
It's that time. It's a not all here moment. I kind of feel like I don't know if I want to go first or second. You said, I know you told me before you have 2.
I have 2, and I may have already said both of these. So I apologize to anybody listening to the podcast.
I apologize.
All right, E, I'm going to let you pick.
Okay.
Facebook or call center?
I don't think I've heard either of these. Or if you did, like I said, I forgot. Yeah. Let's do Facebook.
All right, Facebook. I don't even know if this is a not on here moment. It's just a memory. Okay, so, you know, years ago, I was chilling on the computer, and my girlfriend, she was, she had my computer, and I had Facebook open, and she started going through my friends. Oh, which is fine, you know, whatever. I don't care. Okay. And she's like, "Who's this? Who's this person?" I'm just like, "Oh, that's that person." Who's this? And this, oh, that's that person. She's like, "Who's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I hate that guy." Right. So then she clicks on his page, she blocks him and unfriends him. And I'm like, "Oh shit, why'd you do that?" And she's like, "Why not?" She's like, "You hate him." And I'm like, "Damn, you're brilliant." Why am I friends with this guy? I feel like Facebook is this weird place where you're friends with everyone. At least for me, I come from a very smallest school in the state. Yeah. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah. So it's like anybody you went to high school with, they just added you on Facebook because it's people you knew. But then she was like, "You hate this guy. Why is he your friend?" And my brain just hadn't figured that out yet, where it's like, oh, that's genius.
That's hilarious.
Let's block that guy and unfriend him.
That's hilarious. That makes sense. It's kind of funny, maybe because speaking on that, because that makes me think I kind of come from a small state and small city as well, and like you kind of when you're in high school or college, you kind of friend everybody,
right?
And then out of peer pressure, even though to be honest, probably like 80%, if not 85 or 90% of the people you probably don't even know a lot about them. You know, you kind of just keep it cool type of thing. And then you have like that small percentage of people that you're actually cool with and that you're like, yeah, those are my homies, those are my friends or whatever. And so that's hilarious. You're like, oh, wait a second.
Wait.
I can just block them?
You're genius.
That's
At first I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Why did you? But then I'm like, what? Why not?
That's hilarious. My not all here moment. Did I just forget my not all here moment? Hold on. You made me because hold on. Let me think for a second. I might cut this part out. Hold on. What was my not all here moment? My not all here moment was.
So I gotta write them down.
Damn, you right. Hold on. Let me think. Hold on. I was thinking about it just the other day. I'm thinking it's coming back to me.
I'll fill the space. I was one of the first people on Facebook.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I'm like Soulja Boy. I was the first. Because, Facebook originally was only for schools. And Clemson was one of the first 30 schools.
Oh, wow.
So I was on Facebook before there was a wall.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I remember when Facebook hit everybody in the computer lab. Mm-hmm. We actually had... do computer labs still exist? We actually had to go to computer labs.
Maybe in elementary schools. I think they still exist.
But in college, this was a thing. Everybody would go to the computer lab. And when Facebook hit, when you walk in the computer lab, everybody's screen was just white and blue. Just Facebook.
Yeah.
It was like this new little way you could be like, oh, they're in this class with me. Oh, who's that? Oh, that's her name. Oh.
That's hilarious. Okay, hold on. We're going to have to come back real quick. Hold on. I forgot my... Hey. Okay, we're back. I remembered. It took me like 5 minutes.
Groceries.
Groceries. That's what it was. Groceries. That's the key word for this story. So, I don't want to mention this company out of fear that...
Pizza Hut.
Sure, let's just say Pizza Hut. Let's just say any delivering service. So, I would do a delivering service. Excuse me, my hand got a cut here. All right.
UPS.
Yep. Delivery service, groceries. So sometimes I would deliver groceries. All right. And the objective of doing this job is that, you're supposed to get things that people order from a grocery store. You take it, put it in your car, you deliver it, you knock on their door or whatever, and then you move on to the next one.
Yes.
So I remember one time that I was doing an order. It wasn't a really big order, but it was like, I'm going to say like 15 things, right?
Okay.
And at this time, I also had 2 other orders. So altogether, there's 3 orders. So they were all put together. And I went to this grocery store, and I got all these things. And I have a system when I did these things. And I was like, okay, I'm going to separate this how I know this is this order, and this how I know this is this order, and so on and so forth. Did it. So I think... on this day, I was like really tired, and I was like, I'm ready to go home. I don't even know why I took this last job. Like, I just want to go home. So I remember I went to deliver the first order, and I dropped off some stuff, and I was like, I think this one with this order. I kind of started to forget, and I was like, I think this one goes as first order. Yeah, this is fine. And you can kind of look through your phone and see, oh, okay, yeah, this is it. So I would do that. But bro, I remember that I went to first place, delivered. Second place, delivered. Went to the third place, and I think my mind was running, and I was like, yeah, it's this bag and this bag. And I delivered it. Went home, and I think a day or 2 passed before I actually started doing more deliveries. Went to do a first order. I looked in my trunk. There was 4 bags in there. One of them was creamer. One of them was like... one of them was like some veggies, and another one was like some crackers or something like that or whatever. And I was like, what is this doing here? Did I go to the grocery store?
Were they starting to spoil?
Yeah. They were starting to And so I forgot all about it. And then I was like, wait, let me look in this app real quick. And you can see people who leave messages or reviews and stuff. And there was somebody who reviewed.
Dang,
and
bro.
then they're like, I only got 3 bags, and I was supposed to get like 6 or 7. And I was like, oh, well, it is what it is. And that actually happened a few times.
And then you quit.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Then you got fired.
Yeah, let's just say that. And so I forgot all that stuff, man. But then I think there was actually another time too where I did that and I forgot something. And then I think they were like, they forgot this. And then I got to keep whatever. And I didn't pay for it.
We have a roommate that did a job like this.
This is an extra not on here moment.
And a couple times he had like hundreds of dollars worth of groceries just at the house. And he was just like, hey, this is for everybody.
Yep. I remember that. I remember that.
I don't know what happened, but I guess, yeah.
Yep. That's hilarious.
Multiple times,
you know, but it's kind of interesting because, you know, after a while he kind of stopped delivering. But hey, it is what it is.
Yes.
That's hilarious. It's so funny how something like that would happen. Or it's funny that people would do that. Have you ever seen that thing? This is really random. I know we're about to end the podcast.
What?
I don't understand like how some people like DoorDash or something like that. Mm-hmm. Have you seen people who will deliver the thing, take a picture, but then take it back because they're hungry?
No. Well, I've heard that can happen, but
that's real funny. That would be
fucked up.
It's funny that happens, or like people are like, "Oh, I'm so hungry," type of thing. I'm like, bro, just go get some food. Unless maybe they're broke. I know, but they got the wrong food. But anyway, that's episode, I forgot, what am I? 36. Excuse me, episode 36.
Thank you, everyone.
Not Out Here podcast.
For everything.
Yeah. If you guys have a Not Out Here Not Out Here moment, make sure you leave a comment on YouTube or Instagram, DM us. Hey, say what's good. What's going on, Jetty and L? None much. But anyway, make sure wherever you're listening, make sure you follow us on Spotify, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us to reach more listeners. Follow Not Out Here podcast on Instagram. Follow Cool Ass People. We just dropped a music video for Oh No No.
Yeah.
Follow our personal pages. Mine is It's Easy L.
JRB, the producer. Follow all of the things your heart tells you to follow.
And remember.
But follow us first.
Remember, it's better to cry in a Lamborghini
than to sing under a bridge.
Than to smile under a bridge.
It's a dark world we live in. Man.
Catch y'all on the next one.
You.